Be sure to check out the awesome guitar straps at Buckle Down Products. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you guys can click on it and go straight to the website. They've got dozens of different choices. Very cool guitar straps, very comfortable. Hey guys, today we're going to do the guitar lesson for the song Dee by Randy Rhoads, which was on the Blizzard of Oz album. And this is a song that Randy had written for his mother, or dedicated to his mom. This is really cool too. I've had this forever. This is the tribute album, and I'm not sure, for those who don't know, at the very end of the album it has a lot of Randy doing the different outtakes for the song, and it's kind of neat to hear him go through the process. As most people know, Randy was really into classical music, and the last tour that he was doing with Ozzy, he had mentioned that he was planning on going back to school to study classical music instead of, this was of course after he'd completed his commitments with Ozzy. So classical music was very, very, close and dear to his heart. This is a very challenging song to play. That's why I've come in hesitant to do a lesson on it. But so forgive me for any flubs on the trailer. That's my best take I could get for you. Of course, it's nowhere near as close as Randy, but hope you guys enjoy it. The technique we're going to use, instead of Randy used a finger style technique for the on a nylon string. I don't own a nylon string guitar, so I'm going to do it on an acoustic. But I'm also going to be doing a hybrid picking technique. Hybrid picking is where you're basically holding the plectrum between your thumb and first finger, and then you're using your middle finger, ring finger, and pinky finger sometimes to do all the other, kind of finger style picking. So that's how we're going to work on this lesson. So here's the first couple bars of the song. Let's talk about that part. So we're going to be barring our first finger across the 7th fret of the G, the B, and the high E string. Now we're not going to be playing the D string on this part, but we are going to reach up here with our pinky finger on the 10th fret of the A and grab that note. And basically you're doing all the strings as one giant pluck of all the strings. So the pick is going to be, here on the A string. The treble strings you're going to be plucking with your middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. So we have, and then we have this lick. Now we're still going to keep our first finger here at the 7th fret and just keep that G, B, and high E string, just apply pressure there. We're going to play G, and then we're going to hammer on from 7 to 8 on the B, and then grab the high E. Now if you look to this kind of side of my picking hand here, I'm picking the G and the B, but I'm grabbing the high E with my middle finger. So we have this. Then we come up here. And that's going to be an open D string, 4th fret of the G, 5th fret of the high E. We're not playing the B. And you're going to pluck all those together. And then we're going to come down here and play a harmonic across the 7th fret. Now with the harmonic, for folks who are not used to doing these, where normally we would play in the middle of the 2 frets. To get your harmonics, you're going to have to go right over the top of the fret. So in this case it's the 7th fret, and you're going to have to just gently lay your finger across the strings, and it's very little pressure there. So you don't want to fret. You want to just kind of just lay it across like you're dampening the strings, and then just one strum down. And the next part sounds like this. Okay, so we have the ring finger here on the 9th fret of the D string. We're barring our first finger across the 7th fret of the G, B, and high E, and we're doing a. So this this will be kind of like almost like a banjo type roll on this lick. So it's the first part you're going to hit the D string and the high E together. Then you're going to grab G, B, back to G. And then you're going to grab high E and then B. Turn to the side so you can see that picking part. Then we're going to grab here on the 10th fret of the high E and play this. Play that again, sorry. So same picking pattern, but we're just going to add that that would be a D note on the high E, so the 10th fret of the high E. So we have this. And then again. Then we're going to come down a slide. So that slide is going to occur here from the 9th fret of the D to the 11th fret of the D. So we have. And then we're going to grab here the 9th fret of the G, 10th fret of the B, and then 12th fret of the high E. So it sounds like this. So we have the slide, G, B, high E, and then we hit the D and high E together. So it's. Let's play that again. I'm going to show you that picking pattern from the side. After that, we go back to that same first lick we learned. But we're going to grab right here. So that first lick's no different, but we're going to grab that chord that we did up here in the 4th and 5th position. We're going to be down here in the 9th position. So it's going to be 9th fret of the A, 10th fret of the B string. So we come up here and go. So that's going to be the A string and the B string plugged together. So you're going to have your middle finger on the 7th fret of the A. The ring finger is going to be on the 8th fret of the B. And then you're going to be playing the 6th fret of the G back to the 8th fret of the B. Oops. Then we do this. So that's going to be 5th fret of the A string, 7th fret of the B string. Then we're on the 4th fret of the A string, 5th fret of the B string. Then we're on the 2nd fret of the A string, 3rd fret of the B string. So we have this so far. Finish right there and we'll talk about the next lick. And that's going to be you're fretting on the 3rd fret of the low E, and then you're hitting the high E open. And the next part. Okay, so we start with 3rd fret of the low E, so you can put your middle finger or ring finger there. I'm using my middle finger, for just seems natural. You're plucking the low E and high together, and then you're going to be playing the B, G, and open E string here, high E string. All that's going to be open. So it's going to be both these plucked together. Then you're going to go B, G, open high E. Then we're going to play this. That's going to be open A string, and you're going to be plucking here at the 5th fret of the B, and you're pulling off to the 3rd fret of the B. So it's. And then you're going to shift to the 2nd fret of the B and play the open A, and that is a C sharp note on the 2nd fret. So it's. then you're going to play just a single note on the D note. This is the 3rd fret of the B, so it's and we do this. So I know that looks kind of like a complicated chord, but really just think of it like you're, this part, if you were playing, kind of a D5 chord here. So you have your 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, and then we're leaving the high E string open. And then you're going to grab here the 2nd fret of the low E. So we have this. I'll play that again for you. Now you play that first, you're going to be plucking the low E and the B together. And you're going to go. So all this is going to ring out. So that little roll, that last little kind of melody is going to be D, G, B, G, high E, B. To the next part. Okay, this part you're going to want to start this with the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the low E. You're playing the high E open. So you play those, pluck those 2 notes together. You're going to go to the 2nd fret of the low E to the 2nd fret of the high E, pluck those 2 notes together. And then you're going to come down here to the 3rd fret of the high E and then play the low E open. So by grabbing it with your ring finger, it just makes it a little bit easier to execute those kind of quick chord changers. Because it's kind of fast right there. And then we do, that's going to be open B, open G, and then play the high E on the 3rd fret, and then we do a, so that's going to be open E string, and then we're pulling off from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret on the high E. Then we're going to come up here and grab the 4th fret of the E, and then we're going to be plucking that in the 2nd fret of the high E, and then of course we're pulling off to open high E. So we have this. So from there we grab the 3rd fret of the B and play the B, high E, and then we're going to play 2nd fret of the B and open A together. And then we're going to play the single note here on the 3rd fret of the B string, and then come down here and grab this harmonic. So the harmonic's going to be on the 12th fret, and it's going to be the strings you're going to pluck together are going to be the G and the high E. Then Randy does this run, and he's used this quite a bit in a lot of different songs. You'll hear it in Crazy Train, but he it's a lick that he goes to a lot. But it's so the first part's going to be here, 2nd fret of the G string. You're hammering on to the 4th fret, pulling off back to the 2nd fret and into the open. So it's that's the first part. And I'm using the pick down picks on each one of these as far as each string here. And then that's going to be 4th fret of the D to the 2nd fret of the D to the open D. And then we go up here to the A string, 4th fret to the 2nd fret, and then open A, and then open D. And then he plays this. So you're going to start here, 3rd fret of the B string, 2nd fret of the high E. We go down to the 5th fret of the B, 3rd fret of the high E, and then we play a hammer-on pull-off here from 5 to 7 to 5. Oops. So it's, and that's going to be 2nd fret of the A, 3rd fret of the B. So let's put it all together here. Now once you grab this chord, you're going to play G, B, high E, and then you're going to play again, but we're going to, similar to what we just did, but we're going to expand this lick. So that's going to be 3rd fret of the B, 2nd fret of the G, or excuse, 2nd fret of the high E. Excuse me, getting my words tangled up here. And it's going to be 5th fret of the B, 3rd fret of the high E. Shift down to the 7th fret of the B, 5th fret of the high E. And then we'll do a hammer-on pull-off from 7 to 9 on the high E. Come back up here and play the open A, and you're fretting on the 2nd fret of the B. So all together. Go back to that open D. You want to let that D ring out. So again, that rings. Sounds like this. So we're playing open D string, and the melody's all going to be all here on the high E. So we first hit the open D and high E together, but we're going to let that D ring out while we play this melody on the high E string. So it's, pulling off from 5 to 3, to 3 to 2, to 2 to open E. And that's going to be a, so that's going to be 4th fret of the A string, and then you're pulling off here at the 2nd fret of the B string. So we have this. And then we come back to this. Once we come out and we pull off here, coming back to the 3rd fret of the B, play the open high E, and then you're going to reach down here and grab the 5th fret of the B. So it's, we come out of that, playing that lick. So it's going to be 2nd fret of the A, 3rd fret of the B, pluck those together, grab the high E, and then you're going to come here to the 2nd fret of the B and then play that note and pull off open. Then you're going to slide from 3 to 5 on the B, and then here to the open A and 2nd fret of the B. So we have, you can play the G again, and then you're going to grab the 3rd fret on the B. And that's going to be 2nd fret of the low E, 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, and those are plucked together. And then you're going to play this. So it's going to be G, 2nd fret of the G, open D, and then 2nd fret of the A string. So that's going to be 3rd fret of the high E and low E together. So you're going to pull off. So you fret here on the 3rd fret of the high E and pull off to the 2nd fret on the high E. You're going to come up here again to the G sharp, which is the 4th fret of the low E, and pull off from 2nd to open on the high E. And then you're going to come back here to the 7th fret and play the little harmonic. So let's play that part again. So over here in the corner, if you want to do another Randy Rhoads lesson, you can just click that box and that'll take you to the I Don't Know song, which is also off of Blizzard of Oz.